The first one, I believe, it's available for pre-order. It is the new Power Ned Weedless Screw Lock Jig Head. And Mikey, you can be telling us about that one, correct?
Yeah, I'd love to run through some stuff on it.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Sermon's got the model, so if you want to cut to him to show it. Basically, what we did, guys, is we took – so if you watch any of my videos on Mikey Balzz Fishing, you guys know I love throwing a net. But the trick is we've been catching a lot of big fish and throwing a net in some places where it really doesn't belong. So what we tried to do is there's a lot of aspects of a classic Ned that just frankly they kind of suck, like there's just shortcomings, especially when you're talking about big fish and heavier cover. So what me and Val tried to do is look at the Ned and sort of reevaluate it and take those shortcomings and make it more accessible to something you can throw, say, in heavy cover, that you can throw for bigger fish, that you can throw for bait casters. So what we did, if you take a look at Sermon right now, the hook on there is a 3/0 standard wire hook. So it's not super heavy duty, but it's not like the fine wire hooks that you find on your classic Neds. So it's going to hold up. You can throw it around grass. You can throw it in brush. We also put a heavier brush guard on there. It's not crazy thick like a double weed guard brush guard kind of thing, but it's much thicker than anything you'll find on the Neds that are on the market right now, which is going to allow you to put that thing. One thing I was imagining is throwing it around isolated cane and pads and that. But basically, the other factor that really sets it apart is that screw lock on there. If you guys ever skip docks or anything like that with a Ned, dude, there's so much slippage, and we wanted to cut down on that. Or if you're pitching it in a little bit thicker stuff and jerking it around a bit, that bait's always sliding down. So it's kind of premium components with a little more heavy cover feel, and you throw it on a bait caster.
Very nice.
Really cool. Yeah, that's we've talked about the refinement in the Ned category, and Gambler, as usual, falling into the heaviest end of the spectrum possible that you could imagine.
Catch heavy fish, bro. I mean,
absolutely.
Come on. Bending out them little ferry hooks on there. Come on.
I know. Well, we've seen it. JT Kenny was talking about catching 11 and 12 pounders.
Yeah.
We've seen Mikey catch really big 11 and 12 pounders on camera. So I guess if you hook a double digit on a Ned, that's got to be the one right there, huh, guys?
Well, and just making it more accessible to grass fishing. I don't know how much you guys are familiar with some of the patterns in like Central and South Florida. Like we fish a lot of actually Corey schooled me down here doing this with the jig.
That was a good time.
Absolutely. Dude, Corey whacked like 30 pounds on Okeechobee, dude, with me out of the back of the boat, took me to school. But like it was really focusing on like somewhat isolated cane. And we do that with pads when you have spawning fish. And a Ned, dude, gets bites from smalls and bigs, whether it's a grind or not. And we really kind of wanted to make that Ned an accessible option for that kind of fishing that we were doing, Corey, because it does get so many bites and gets fish to bite. They usually, I don't know, they don't really look at a Texas rig. So it kind of opens that window. And that was where kind of our product starting point was. And then it expanded from there.
Very cool. Yeah, that was a really cool time. We out there, we hang out with the Gambler guys. We hang out with those guys a lot. And we were fishing. Was that for a charity tournament or was that the Gambler Open? I can't remember. We did 2 events that weekend, I think. I can't remember which one that was.
I think you guys hung out at the free tournament. So Gambler runs a free tournament where you can throw Gambler-only stuff on a variety of lakes throughout the Southeast and even up north now. But that was, I think we just fished a weekend derby, dude. Like kind of got after it. It was pretty epic, man. Yeah, it was pretty stupid out there.
Yeah. And Mikey, you said Corey caught 30 pounds behind you. That's just
so check this
really
out.
hard
Corey
for me to wrap my head around.
I think we ended up having like 31. And Corey, I swear to God, you caught like 26 of the 31 because I had 1 6-pounder and I was pissed. Not to be like angry about it, but like, dude, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? He's catching all these. And dude, I was frustrated because Corey's like making it look like an art, dude, like nothing. Like just pits that jig out there, dude, and he's just shaking it. And they'd be like, I got one. He's all bent up. And dude, like a 6.5, 7 comes wallowing out of the grass. I'm like, Corey, dude, like you're insane. And he kept doing it and doing it. It was cool, dude.
Yeah, it was cool. We lost the biggest one, or I lost the biggest one at the end of the day. It was, I'm not going to say 10-pounder, but it was well over 7, and it was a good time. But I'll tell you what, after that event, I hit up Val for a bunch of those jigs. And I was like, I need to have these.
And Mega Daddies.
Yeah, yep, it was. And that's what was key. The Mega Daddy was sideways. That was, it didn't matter. It made, for me, it mattered.
So the guys in the back room are messaging me.
Shut up.
No, they're wondering how much you had to pay Mikey to tell these lies and build up your fishing cred.
And, I mean, we were recording. I don't know if there's still video evidence on the hard drive somewhere, but there was some video evidence of it. So I'll pay you to send it over and shut these guys up if you find it somewhere.
Yeah. I'll have to see if I can dig it up. I think part of the reason we called them too is the weather was like crap that day, dude. Like it was blowing, and it was that west wind that we always talk about, that magic west wind in Florida. But I might have something laying around. I've killed so many hard drives in the past. I don't know, like, but it was dumb. Like Corey, dude, like it was like the master, like showing like the kid how to fish. Like he was using that jig magically. But that wasn't a Ned jig. That was a standard jig. So.
I don't know about the master, but I think I was getting a little lucky behind the master and had a good day. But it was definitely a fun event, and we got lucky. So the last few times we've been to Florida, the bite sucked, and we show up and it turns on, which usually never happens that way. Well, when the cameras show up, it doesn't happen that way. When we're showing for fun, maybe it does.